Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mack, Play Fast Football, all right? Today we're just going to take a look at some of our single-side press man looks and how we teach our corner, all right, and how we try to keep it as consistent as we can, and we just try to slightly change up our leverage based on the coverage that we're playing to the single side so that the corner always understands what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it, all right? Make sure you check out some of our sponsors, Dome Hats, headwear company we use, Play Fast Football at the school I'm currently at, completely customizable. Make sure you check out Dome. Baker Sporting Goods, company I use for coaching shirts like this, Spirit Packs. They distribute our uniforms. We're an Adidas team, so they distribute our Adidas uniforms. Make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlayFB, all right, digital software, bringing the program to the next level. Play draw diagram, or the play drawing diagram tool that I use if I'm going to do a playbook or a webinar or a speak at a clinic. Game Strat, sideline replay system we use, best on the market. Difference USA, the ultimate striking machine. You can get thousands of reps inside or out without needing a partner. All right, HighandTight, ball security training aid we use. You have to hold the ball in the proper position. You hear an auditory beep. When you hear the beep, you know that the ball is held in the proper HighandTight position with the proper points of pressure, so it gives the kid instant feedback. And then StandPerfect, which is a training aid that we use to teach stances. So we use StandPerfect when we're trying to teach offensive lineman stances, and it eliminates, if we're trying to teach a heel-toe stagger with your right foot back, instead of having to use all those buzzwords, if we just put the StandPerfects in the ground where we want them, now we can get thousands of reps with the lineman walking up and going, look, that's where they are, put your feet in them, that's how you stand. I don't have to say heel-toe, move up 2 inches, move this foot out, I don't have to grab a foot, move it in or out, put the StandPerfects in the ground, let it rip. We do it at receiver, we do it O-line, we do it sometimes with safeties. We do it with corners, all right? So it's an easy way to teach stances to get multiple reps over and over again and eliminate buzzwords. Baseball, softball, football, golf, easiest way to teach stances, put them on the ground and let it rip. All right, so when we're talking about to the single side, all right, we have several different adjustments that we can play to the single side. We have probably more adjustments to the single side than we actually have to the passing strength, okay? And when we're using those adjustments, a lot of them come from press man looks. So when we're talking single side, it doesn't matter whether it's 3x1 or whether it's 2x1 or pro, as long as there is a single removed outside, okay, a lot of the times we are going to be in some sort of press man alignment. Now that doesn't always mean that we're playing press man, but we're going to try and give some sort of press man alignment, because to the single we would love to, excuse me, we would love to present the illusion that we're taking away quick throws, all right, especially into the boundary. When we are into the boundary, we want to take away the gift, the access, the easy RPO. We want to give the illusion that we are taking away that quick game throw, make the coordinator and the quarterback at least go through a thought process or think about doing something else so that we can eliminate those easy gimmies into the boundary. So we are usually showing some type of press man alignment. And the way we try and keep it real simple with our corners is we try to teach them based on the press man coverages that we're going to play, or the press man coverage looks that we're going to play. We just try to teach them leverage based on the call that we're making. And when I say leverage, it's as simple as split an inside foot, be head up, outside foot. Okay? And then where your help is and what your role is going to kind of dictate what you are doing and how you are doing it. All right, so for us, Hawk is a call where we are going to play man-to-man on the single receiver, all right, and we are going to play man-to-man on the back if he releases to the side of the will, and we are going to use the safety as an extra player. He's going to be a very aggressive extra run fitter, very similar to quarters with the exception the backer that's in the box for me, I don't like him being a curl flat player from inside the box. Now, if he's got proper leverage on 2 and 2 is a back, it kind of works out very similar to quarters coverage, all right, but we explain it as a man coverage deal. We tell the will linebacker, you've got 2 to your side if he's out. If he lines up as 4 and he crosses the quarterback's face, he now becomes 2. You've got him coming back. So it becomes a man-to-man deal with safety help. The reason we use it, all right, is when we're getting, because we're a middle-of-the-field open team, if we're getting deals where we're not sure if they are going to try and expose the middle of the field or attack the single, we like to use that backside safety as an extra player based off of what the intentions of the quarterback are. So it starts off as a man deal. So if it starts off as a man deal, we're always going to play it inside leverage. All right, and the reason we're going to play it inside leverage is we don't know if we're going to get help from the safety or not. the corner will never know if he's going to get help from the safety or not, because the safety is playing off the intentions of the QB, and the corner is playing man on a receiver. He'll never see the QB. All right, so we're going to play that from press man inside, and we play inch back, motor man, however you want to call that technique. We are not an aggressive jump man team. All right, we are an inch back team where that cornerback is physically going to inch back off the release, motor back, that motor man theory, okay, and then he's going to play his jam from there, and we teach, all right, one hand, two hand, no hand. So in other words, if that receiver, all right, if that receiver is inside the framework of your body, okay, if he's inside the framework of your body, which means your shoulders and your hips, you can go ahead and try and jam him with two hands. If he's inside of your wingspan, so when you spread your arms out, okay, he's inside of your wingspan, you can jam him with one hand. If he gets outside of your wingspan, you've already effectively rerouted him, you don't need to get a hand on him, now we can just run to where we need to be. All right, so we're playing with inside technique when we play man. We're playing inch back motor man, and then from there it's a matter of that receiver's release. All right, if it's inside of my framework, I can try and get two hands. If it's inside of my wingspan, all right, again, framework would be hands at my side. He's got to be inside my hips, inside my shoulders. Wingspan is when I take my arms out, depending on how long your corners are. And now if he's inside that wingspan, I can try and get one hand on him. If he's outside of my wingspan, he's effectively rerouted. So if I'm playing inside leverage and I motor back and he runs wide to the sideline, there's no need for me to try and get a hand on him. I've effectively rerouted him. He's not attacking vertical. He's trying to go vertical, but he's going so wide that he's almost rerouted himself. So now when I inch back and he does that, I can open, all right, and look and find that hip and get into a position to be in coverage off of that near hip, that inside hip, because he's released that far inside or outside, okay? When I inch back, if he's going to release inside at all right, it's either going to be motor one-hand jam or it's going to be motor two-hand jam, because if he releases inside, he's going to be either in my framework, depending on if it's inside vertical, or if he's trying to go straight inside shallow, he's probably going to be inside of my wingspan. So now I can inch one hand open, and we always, when we one hand, we open opposite. So if I'm going to open to my inside, I'm going to punch, all right, with my outside hand, because I don't want to punch myself closed. If I open inside and punch with this hand, and he clears me, okay, now I'm going to have some issues, all right? I'm going to have some issues with, if he clears me, what my hips are doing. All right, so if I can punch opposite, so if I were to open here and he goes that way, I'm going to punch with my left hand. So if I open right, I punch left. If I open left, I punch right. All right, so if he's in my wingspan, I can punch with one hand. And the reason we play inside leverage in Hawk, okay, so in Hawk, we would take this corner and we would put him inside, and we basically tell him, put your outside eye on his inside eye or split his inside leg. All right, and the reason we're playing inside leverage is because we're expecting no help from the safety, because if they look to the field side, the safety is actually going to spin to close the middle of the field, and it becomes a man-to-man theory. Okay, now, sometimes if number two or the back is on our side, all right, if the back is on that side, all right, rather than play a Hawk technique, we'll play what we call a cone technique, or what all the big timers call a cone technique, and we play it slightly different. All right, when we play cone, we don't double the X. When we play cone, all right, we basically, all right, bracket the release of the X receiver between the corner and the safety. So that's why we allow the corner to play head up in cone, because any inside release in cone, all right, for us is going to make the corner zone off, all right, with eyes inside. All right, and the reason we do that is it also, for us, it acts as kind of our Connie call that you'll hear a lot of split field safety teams talk about, where when they get the back, especially into the boundary, when they get a tight split of the X and the back to that side, they make a Connie call, which allows the inside will backer and the corner to trade off those two routes. Okay, well, for us, sometimes that bracket, that gets a little bit difficult for kids, so we make it easier on them, and we tell the will that when he's playing cone, he's got the back, okay? And we tell the safety, any inside releases by number one, the safety is going to play. The corner is going to zone off of inside releases by number one, and the reason we do that is because if we get the inside release by one and the wheel by the back, now that the wheel's in position to possibly be picked or rubbed, the corner just helps us, all right, pick up the outside wheel of the back. Now, we don't tell the will to play the inside route. We don't make it a full exchange like they would on the Connie call. This is a safer, this cone call for us is a safer version of a way to kind of bracket a 1 and a 2. Any inside shallows get nailed down by the safety, and then any wheels by the back, we still have the will running with the back, but we have outside corner help. Okay, so that if we get run game, it really almost turns into cloud for us. So if they were to try and crack the safety in the run game, and we zone off and it's run coming at us, this corner can now get up there and play almost crack replace. So for us, all right, the cone deal is very similar to a Connie call. We would play it a bunch if we got a tight split of the X and the back on that side and we're expecting inside wheel, all right, we might make a cone call where we can cut the shallow cross. If they're a team that likes to run a lot of shallows or unders or, you know, maybe the RPO glance route, we can nail down on inside releases. That's why we're okay with the corner playing head up, because when he goes to motor back, man, so when he's set up and he goes to motor back, if that guy goes inside, all right, he just opens to the quarterback and he plays football. So instead of having to worry about opening and jamming that inside release, he knows he's not a man player anymore. So in cone, he motors. If that guy goes inside, he zone turns into the QB, okay, and now he just plays football. So he can sink if it's drop back pass. If the back's coming out, he can pick up and help on the back, and now you get the back kind of, all right, you get some, all right, help on the wheel backer to the wheel route. You got your safety on number 1. So rather than chase that inside and double that and make the wheel run with it and then have the Connie call as the adjustment for all the rubs, on the cone we just play it a lot softer and a lot safer, okay? And again, the only issue we have with the cone call is we don't end up, if this guy's inside and down the field, he ends up one-on-one on the safety, all right? And the corner should have outside help if he wants to run some type of inside double move on the safety. We still have the corner outside, all right? Depending on what the back's doing, we have the corner bailing. We have the will playing the back. So it's a safer way for us to play the picks and the rubs without having to add another call in to say, hey, we're going to play cone or we're going to play hawk, but if you get this split by the X in the back, make a Connie call. All right, we'll teach our guys, look, if that's the split, go ahead and play cone. Expect the rub to happen. Corner inside release zone off. Safety nail down on inside release. Will play the back inside out. All right, so with the back over there to the single, when we make the cone call, we allow the corner to play head up. Why do we allow him to play head up? Because he can let all inside releases go and zone off to play football. Okay, so when we're playing hawk, he assumes no help. We want to take the inside away. Okay, so if he assumes that he's playing press man, motor man, inch back man, no help, take the inside routes away. Don't let him get there. All right, you don't have any help. Don't assume any help. Now, you may get safety help in hawk coverage, but you're not going to know because you're playing press man. When you go to cone, you know that you have no, all right, responsibility on inside releases by number 1. So now you can go ahead and play head up, because if one's inside, you can open and play football. All right, so the coverage that we're playing and how we're playing it dictates the leverage. When we go to a hard call, hard for us is just a traditional cover 2. Okay, so hard for us is a traditional cover 2, where now we're going to take that corner and we're going to play him outside leverage. And we're going to tell him that he needs to jam funnel all inside releases, and then he's just going to sink. Safety's playing the half. Will is physically in the hook to curl. All right, so now we are playing more of an old-fashioned spot drop 2 deep, where we've got, all right, a flat defender, a hook curl defender, and a deep half player. We're still 3-on-2. So now when we play hard, all right, he's got to play with outside leverage, because the release we don't want is that when we're playing hard. All right, that release is going to make him man turn into it while turning to look back and see what's going on, because we can't just let that free release outside rip on a half-field safety. So what we do is we play with outside leverage, so we almost deny. We tell him to shuffle and deny. You're playing outside leverage, and what we'll do with our kids that really have a hard time is we'll tilt them. All right, now the reason we don't like tilting them is because now as soon as he's tilted, it dictates the coverage. If we can play him square, all right, and we have a kid that is a returning player, an older player with a little bit, all right, of savviness to him, he'll start off thick on the camera every time. All right, if it's hawk, he'll start off thick on the camera, and then he'll move in there. If it's cone, he'll start off thick on the camera and he'll stay. If it's hard, he'll start off thick on the camera and then he'll move outside. Okay? If we tilt him, now we feel like we're telling you what the corner's playing. So we try not to tilt him unless we absolutely have to tilt him. So what we try to do is play him outside leverage square. All right? Anything that releases inside, we try to shuffle, jam inside, get eyes on the cue, sink and help, especially if two's going vertical. All right? Because we will also play this coverage or this technique two open receivers into the boundary. All right? So he's got to understand if two's going vertical. Okay? If he gets an outside release, now he's got to try and shuffle and deny the outside release with his outside hand so that he can zone turn back inside. If that release gets out there, it's going to force him to turn and man turn with it and then try and locate back inside. Now, why do we let him locate back inside? Because he does have a safety over the top, but we still, if that release gets outside, we need him to try and get a hand on it and man turn into it to take some of the space away while turning back and locating the football because he's not a man player. All right? Because of the coverage, he knows he's got safety help. All right? But we want to avoid that free release hole shot right there. So we will man turn with the corner into the outside release. But now when the corner man turns, he can locate the football, locate the quarterback, and then be able to come back down if he gets a push or a flare or anything, or a possible route that's coming back that way, because he knows he's got the safety help over the top. You just want to avoid, you know that window, all right, is the trouble spot in cover two. You know that on your side of the coverage, all right, obviously the corner isn't worried about the window in the middle. The corner is worried about that outside window where that ball can be thrown, and he wants to deny that. He wants all those releases, all right? So you want the corner making one go in. You want the hook curl player making two go out, so you bring any verticals. So let's just say, for argument's sake, this was a two open sit, all right? If the will can keep two out of the seam and push him 3 yards outside the hash, and the corner can funnel one inside. Now the two verticals are right on top of the safety, and he can play, all right, both while leaning on two and then getting out to one. The corner can sink if they're both vertical, and now we can get help, all right, and we can help the safety where the weakness is, all right, because in that spot drop theory, we're going to try and wall the two, funnel the one, make everything go to the safety. Okay, so if he gets that outside release, we would love to shuffle, make it go. So if he were to try and get this outside release, if he can shuffle, keep it, and make this guy go inside, we feel like it helps the safety. If it gets outside, he has to man turn into it. Again, man turn into it, but locate the football and locate what the back is doing or any crossers coming back. So he has to understand he's not a man player. But if he gets an outside release, it is certainly a man turn and then locate the football just to help with presence on that hole shot throw. Okay, so again, when we're playing to the single side and we're playing the corner, all right, we want to play press man techniques. All right, probably 75% of the time we're playing press man techniques. Okay, and when we're playing press man techniques, we are, all right, hawk coverage, inside leverage, cone coverage, thick head up, hard coverage, outside leverage. The older the player, line up, head up, get your coverage call. All right, once you get your coverage call, your head up, they start to go through cadence. Or if you're playing a no-huddle team, all right, you're lined up thick, they're looking for the play, they're going to get the play. As soon as the quarterback gets down and gets his hands up or starts to go through the cadence, now we can adjust to hawk, or we can adjust to hard, or we can stay right where we are and play the cone coverage. All right, so when we're playing press man to the single receiver, all right, it's real easy for us. Hawk is going to be inside leverage, cone's going to be head up, hard's going to be outside. And we try to make our kids understand that over and over again. Where's your leverage? Win to your leverage side. All right, so if it's hawk and you're playing inside man, you better win with that inside leverage. Don't get that guy across your face. It happened to us in 7-on-7, our first 7-on-7 a couple weeks ago. You're playing into the boundary, they take a tight split, we make a hawk call. For whatever reason, safety decides to make a hawk call. Don't get beat by shallow cross across your face going all the way. Now, again, if we're in split field coverage and the shallow cross goes to the zone side, we should have players there to help, because the toughest thing to teach high school kids in split field coverage is what's happening on one side and what's happening on the other side. We want our guys to know what's going on their side first. That's the most important thing. But eventually, if they understand what's going on the other side, that's when they start to understand why we can't let anybody get from, all right, anybody from, you know, from a zone side can't work back to a man side. So that's where your backer, like your Mike backer on this side, all right, he would have to understand what the calls are so that if he has a 3 here and we're playing mix where he's the poster of 3, okay, if the back is away from him and he doesn't have a 4 strong, he wants to make sure that 3 doesn't get across his face inside. He's probably got to take 3 back. All right, if it were 3 up and 2 under, and this is 2 under becomes the new 3, he's probably got to take that back because he has no idea on this side, all right, what's going on. If we're going to lose somebody, if we're not, when we can get the mic to understand when to take 3 back. All right, that's the elaborate part. When you watch clinics and a college guy start talking about he's got to when he takes 3 back, when he only takes 3 back, when doesn't he have to take 3 back? For us, that's a lot of thought process, okay? So we try to get our guys to understand their side of the coverage first, and then as they get older, maybe we can get them to understand the full parts. Because when you're playing split field and you're dividing the field right down the nose of the football, you really have separate sides of what's going on. All right, and when I say that, the coverages are independent of each other, but full field passing progressions, full field teams like mesh, shallow cross, things like that are going to utilize the full field. Now the coverages really have something to do with each other because can you let things get back? Is there anybody over there if they had to get back? So if this side on the single side was playing a hawk man-to-man concept, okay, and the Will has the back, and the corner has this, and it's man-to-man, and you get this route, all right, and or let's just say even better, you get inside post, and you get wheel there, and this is man, and this is man. If they run any type of shallow or any type of drive route coming from here, and this route comes across, if the mic or the poster lets it get across, there might not be anybody there left to play. Now, if we play hard on the backside, that's where the front side guys, all right, it'd be advantageous for the front side guys to understand that we're playing hard because now with a hook curl player here, all right, now an inside crosser may be able to get back to your hook curl player, okay? So when you start to get into the nuances of both sides of the coverage, there's a lot involved. So what we try to do is we try to make it real easy. Understand what's going on your side of the coverage. We tell the poster or the inside player or palms or mixed stump, whatever you want to call it, 3x1, 3 comes inside, you got to take it back, whoever that 3 is, okay? And then if we're getting deals where we're getting beat, he's taking 3 back and they're running returns whips or something to beat us in the area because he's taking 3 back, well then we have to have some different coverage, all right, that can handle that. So for us, the easiest adjustments is we always have robber concepts or man concepts so that if we're getting beat by certain theories, we can go ahead and just play man because that's the easiest for our kids to play. All right, but you always know most defensive guys understand every coverage has beaters. You can't take away everything that they do. All right, so depending on what they're trying to do, where 3 is on the front side, where the back is on the back side, all right, that might help your guys make calls. All right, that might help your guys make calls to where they can understand where and why they want to play certain things. And then when you get beat or you go through 7-on-7, you can start to explain to your kids and go, okay, look, if the back is over here and we're into the boundary, that might be a better time to make a cone or a hard call rather than a hawk call, all right? Because now if we get all these pick-rub concepts to our side, all right, we can either play it 3-on-2 spot drop or we can play it 3-on-2 with help on the rub and the wheel. We can get help on the back by the corner because if one goes inside, the safety nails it down and the corner zones off, and now he helps the wheel on the rub route. Right? So now you can start talking to your kids about, hey, single side, the back is to the single side, X is tight, they're into the boundary, expect these, don't make a hard call or don't make a hawk call and play straight man-to-man because now the corner and the wheel would have to bracket. Go ahead and make a cone call. That essentially becomes, all right, a better version of that coverage. All right, if the ball's in the middle, all right, probably don't want to make a hard call because in hard, the corner's the force player. If the ball's in the middle, I don't know if we can force runs with the corner there. Okay, so now if you were going to play one of those three theories and the ball was in the middle, I would rather prefer a hawk theory. Okay, because now with the ball in the middle, unless you get a real tight split by the X, if you get a normal split by the X and you play hawk, so if the ball's in the middle of the field and you get a normal split by the X, let's say, and the tail's on this side, and you play hawk, you're not really as worried as much, you're not worried as much about the rub of these two because of the split. Alright? And at the same time, if it's run game, I feel like we can get him as an extra player because he really has no original, essential pass drop. He's extra, and the reason we call the coverage hawk is we tell him he's a ball hawk. He can hawk the ball. If it's run, he can go play run. If it's pass, he can play off the intentions of the quarterback. So if the ball was in the middle, we probably wouldn't make a hard call, okay? And then the only time we would think about making a cone call is if for whatever reason with the ball in the middle, the X reduced his split all the way down to here, and now all of a sudden that safety looks at it and he goes, wait a minute, the ball's in the middle, okay? I'm not sure if we can support it, all right, from hard, all right? And I'm not sure if we're going to get picks and rubs. If I make a cone call, all right, we may have an issue supporting runs, but I know if I get these releases in the cone call, I'm going to get help because I'll nail down this, he'll go to that, and he'll be zoned off, and we'll get help on the running back going on the wheel route. Okay, so into the single side, we like to play a lot of press man looks. We like to take away quick game. When we're playing press man, hawk inside leverage, cone head up leverage, hard outside leverage. All right, but watching film, understanding tendencies, and then teaching your kids, there's times with our kids where we can only play one or two things on the backside. All right, so it's either we're playing sky coverage with the safety down and the corner off, or we're playing hawk coverage, which is man-to-man with safety as the extra help. Those are the only two things we can play. As our kids get along further in the system, now we might be able to build in the 5 different ways that we want to play the single side so that we can play versions of press man, all right, that take away all the different things that they want to take away. Then when we start the zone pressure, we play our zone pressures from press man, so we build another layer or another tool inside the toolbox because now we can play bail technique from a press look. All right, so we're trying to show that press look, take away quick throws, take away easy throws, and then we're trying to teach that corner based on your responsibility, what leverage should you have. If it's a man responsibility, inside leverage. If it's a man responsibility with inside help, head up leverage. If it's a zone flat responsibility with a funnel, outside leverage. All right, and we try to keep it that simple for the guys. All right, then from there you got to graduate to the ball in the middle. Now when the ball's in the middle, you're going to eliminate some of those calls and you're going to go to other calls because with the ball in the middle, we're more worried about supporting the run, okay, and making sure we have a D-gap run player to the weak side, all right, and then based on the formations, tendencies, other things, we want to make sure that we can support runs because there's now, you know, technically there's 27 yards to worry about instead of 17 yards to worry about. So when the ball's in the middle, there's 8 to 10 extra yards for the ball to be run. So run support is a bigger deal when the ball's in the middle. So those are the things that we talk about with our single side corner from our press man techniques. Those are the different calls that we make, hawk, cone, hard, inside leverage, head up leverage, outside leverage. Hopefully that helps you teach your corners to the single side. Hopefully it helps you figure out what kind of leverage you want to play, the different ways you want to play the single. Our cone version is a way that we can handle the rub or the wheel by the tailback. That's how we play it. Our hard version is a simple spot drop, all right, zone deal where we can change up our pattern match, turn it into spot drop, and then our hawk deal is a man-to-man deal where we're stuck playing man-to-man with safety help. Okay, so hopefully that helps you to the single side. All right, I appreciate everything you guys do for Play Fast Football and for me. All right, enjoy your summer, enjoy your downtime. Make sure you turn your notifications on so that you know every time we do a video. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get all the notifications when you turn them on for our videos. When I go to YouTube Live, if I do anything on live, the notifications will let me know that I'm going YouTube Live. Always thumbs up, thumbs down if you like this or don't like it. Leave a comment. If it's a football comment, I get back to it. I respond to all the comments. If it's a comment about a video and I think I can do the video justice, then I will do the video. If it's something that you want to see me talk about or you want to see me discuss, if it's something I feel like I can talk about and not embarrass myself, then I will go ahead and do the video. If it's a non-football comment, I just ignore it. Even if it's a negative comment, I'll respond to it and say, hey, that's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. This is the way we do it. Thank you for watching. So there's no such thing as bad comments, negative comments. It's your opinion. They are. All All right, that's what YouTube, social media is. You have the right to watch. You have the right to critique and say anything you want about the video. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate what you do for PlayFast, and hopefully in January, look forward to in 6 months with everything getting back to normal. Look forward to the PlayFast Clinic again. Hopefully at the Embassy Suites right on the ocean in downtown or beachside St. Augustine. So look forward to that as well. All right. So enjoy your summer. Enjoy your off time. If you're in the weight room grinding, enjoy that time with your players getting ready for the season. As always, you won't play well until you play fast, and I will catch you guys next time.